Oh, now you're sending out the, okay. All right. Good talk, everybody. Bezat Hashem, today, Motzei Shabbos, we will, we're learning Sichos Haran. So just share the appropriate Sicha, the Sicha at base, the 12th Sicha, and here we go. Just open up a little. Okay. Sichos Haran and Sicha at base, the 12th one. This is, again, this is very, very important to point out that Breslev is not for the faint-hearted. In other words, there are many far easier ways to be a Torah observant Jew than to be a Breslever. To be a Breslever means that you want to play in the big leagues. It means that you're not taking no prisoners. You realize that your time is precious and it's limited. That it's precious and it's limited, and you mean business. And he says as follows: Ele harotzim liyois anoshim ksherim. Those who want to be el chayidin, want to be tzaddikim. Velichnas be'avodas Hashem, and they want to get into avodas Hashem, into the service of Hashem. So obviously you expect, hip hip hooray, like more power to you, bullet for you, great. But what do they get? They have great confusions. And they have big obstacles. They cannot give themselves an advice what to do because of the greatness of the confusions and the obstacles that prevent them in doing whatever it is they want to do in Avodas Hashem. It's difficult to do properly. So says Rabbi Nachman, you should know that fact alone, the fact that they are working so hard and are so hot and resolute to do any kind of avodah and to sanctify themselves any kind of kedusha, even if they can't really achieve it, they can't really achieve it completely. The fact alone that they are toiled and they're really into it, zebchinas karbonis. This is akin to bringing the offerings in Beis Hamikdash. B'fchinas, it is said in Tehillim, Ki alecha haragnu kol hayom, on you we were killed all day. Nechshavnu katzon tivcha, we were considered like lamb led to slaughter. And it says in Tikkun Izah, shezeh b'chinas tefillah. This relates to the union of davening. She b'chinas karbonis, that tefillah is, instead of burnt offerings. What does it mean? When a person wants to daven, and they don't let him, and they confuse him in all kinds of confusions, and how much hard work is involved in tefillah. Even if a person does not merit to daven properly, even so. The Gia Be'atzmo, that work, that hard work that he's putting in, that the person is like tiring himself out, whatever he can, and self-sacrificing himself to daven properly. This in itself is like Karbanis and Beis Hamikdash. Alecha Ragna. I mean, it says even more so. B'chol ha'avodas ve'akdusha sh'adam rotze lekadesh atzmo, in everything, all the kedushas, all the avodas, and all the sanctifications, the person wants to sanctify himself. Even if a person is not to sanctify himself properly. The toil itself, the hard work itself, the incredible effort, and the suffering that the person suffers from all the confusion that he has, because he wants to sanctify himself, only they don't let him. This is Bechina of Karbonis. So what is the main point that is brought out of this? Is as follows. That's why a person needs to do what is his to do. Tire yourself in avodas Hashem, whatever it is you can. Anything that your hand can find, whatever it is it's in your ability to do it. Even though it may seem very difficult, and it seems like they don't let you at all, and it seems like they're pushing you off, and you can't seem to do anything b'kedusha properly. It is incumbent upon you to do that which you can do. And let Hashem do what he figures to be right. This principle, we have been saying it, quite a few times. And, I really feel bad for Chaim because, Chaim is relatively new, and maybe he's still in the glow of things, and things are like, wow, man, check this out. This Yiddish guy is unbelievable, man. Yiddish guy rocks, yeah, kind of thing. And here comes this old geezer and just like telling him, you got to suffer, you're going to this, you're going to this and that. I don't know. I don't want to scare you off, dude, but if you want to play, if you want to play a pickup game, a basketball, at the end of the week, with some friends, that's cool. There's no problem. You can go ahead and go, do a pickup game and then go off and have some beer or something. But if you want to be a pro, if you really want to be a pro, you got to know what's going on here. It is, as they say, it is 90% dedication, 10% talent, right? This is what they say. But in Yiddishkeit, it's even less than that. I mean, even no talent at all. It doesn't. It's just 100% hard work. That's what it is. But it's both sides. In other words, it's not just that it takes hard work, but it's also that hard work is all it takes. That's it. You don't need to be naturally gifted. You don't have to be a natural. You don't have to have a high neshama. You don't have to have a sweet swing, from the get-go, or a perfect pitch, or anything. Come as you are. It all depends on you. That's point number one. Point number two Renosson speaks about this week's Parsha. By the way, I apologize for my glaring glasses. My regular glasses broke, and until new ones are going to be ready, these ones are uh, like light reflectors. So I just take them off, and now I won't see what the heck is going on, but at least I won't be blinding you. Anyhow, Renosson speaks about this week's parsha where it says, "V'yam kemis oinanim." The people were like whining, you know. We miss our time in Egypt when we sat on the meat, the pots of meat. We remember the fish that he gave us for free, you know, and the onions and the garlics and the watermelons. And Rashi says, "What are you talking about?" The Egyptians wouldn't even give them straw for free. They gave them fish. I says, "Only what?" Says we could have everything without Torah, without having to make sure that it's kosher, without having to make sure that it's, that we have to make a bracha before, without have to. There's no avodas Hashem involved in that. That's what it means that they meant it. They wanted it for free. He says that a person absolutely, absolutely, absolutely must at all time um, look at the truth. What is the truth? What the truth is, and the truth is, you have no options. A person, if he chooses not to do what he needs to do in this lifetime, he'll have to do it again, and have to do it again and again, and he will have to suffer through thousands of years. Nelson says thousands of years with unbelievably harsh and bitter suffering. But at the end, he will be rectified. He will be fixed. Because the Kadosh Baruch Hu is not going to let anybody get lost. So it also says, so somebody who is smart should understand, do it right the first time. Do it right now. Come to Kadosh Baruch Hu. Work at it. And he says, and regarding that which he says the people that fall off from avodas Hashem, they fall off because of, they come with all kinds of chokhmas. They're over smart, and it's pure gaiva. They try. I'm talking about those who don't know anything about it, but they try, and they see that they can't really do it. They cannot be Reb Chaim Kanievsky. They cannot be like the Stipler. They cannot be, I don't know who it is that a person considers to be a shining example of what it means to make it in Yiddishkeit. But whatever it is, it's not me. That's not my case. That comes. I said learning Koil. What do I do in Koil? Maybe I'll learn 5 minutes, maybe I'll learn 3 minutes. I don't know. Whatever that. I just drink tea all day. I don't know. Let my wife go to work and sit in Koil. I don't know. So why do you leave Koil? Because you figure, listen, it's not me. No. What do you think is you? It's not me meaning I'll never really be as good as I think that I should be. I will never be able to make it to the degree that befits somebody like moi to be. I mean, a little respect, you know? So if I can't do it, I'd rather retire, at my peak, I'd rather like, what are you talking about? This is life. This is not this is not the general rehearsal for life. This is it. That's the show. And a person needs to jump in with both feet because this is it. We've been harping on this or waxing poetically about this particular Nakuda again and again and again. Because a person needs to understand. A person needs to understand what this is about. And sort of like, you know, Rabbeinu speaks in Torah Chafei, but I'm Torah, that first of all, a person exists he has something called a heart of stone. And then when he breaks his heart of stone and he comes to the seichel, to the mind, to the brain, it's still on an intellectual level. It's still what he called an or makif, a surrounding light. It's not an or pnimi, it's not an inner light. Inner light is when something has been verified by you and you realize totally and completely that that's the truth. This is life. This is what it's about. Now, we spoke about it when we gave an example of a kid that grows up in a frum home that afterwards, becomes is really running after money and becomes a rich person and totally into gashmias. On the other hand, you have a rich kid, come in a family that was far from Yiddishkeit, that leaves everything and goes. That's because there's one thing, that when the seichel is when the truth, when the intellect with what's right is on a level of a slogan. It's a slogan. It's not okay. So we all make the right noises. We all say the right things. But this is Ormakif. This is it surrounds. We're parroting these slogans. What we need to do is we need to internalize that and to bring it in. This is what Rabbeinu says that when you start using that seichel, you start using that. You don't just talk the talk, but you start walking the walk. You're in the process of making. You're turning this into midas, as Rabbeinu says in Torah Memtes. You start thinking thoughts about how do I apply that particular principle to my life? How can I make this? How can I do this? And by keeping to talk about this, keep talking about this and keep listening to this. And of course, taking this from here to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and asking him to help you. That is the process that helps takes it from a theoretical level all the way down to the fact that it becomes a verified inner light by you. That's the reason why I keep repeating again and again and again the same principle. Because the fight, you see, if you don't fight, if you get on the pitch, don't worry. It's okay. It's fine. You can always have a great career. I don't know, playing football or whatever it is you want. And at the end of life, you come back and Shemaim, they look at you like, that's what you bring. Well, you see, I was busy. What do you mean you're busy? Oh, you're busy with what? You were busy with finding excuses to stay away from Kodesh Baruch Hu, to stay away from putting your nose at the grindstone. Because Avodas Hashem is hard. Actually, Avodas Hashem itself is not hard. What is hard is when you're not absolutely certain that this is what you need to do. If chas v'chalila, somebody in the house it doesn't feel well, or if a fire breaks out, la aleinu v'la alechem, there's no problem in getting up and zooming out of the house. So what's my problem with getting up in the morning and going to shul? Because it hasn't been set in stone as an absolute truth, as who I am and what's going on with me. And that's what I need to do. The way that if somebody doesn't feel well or whatever, any kind of emergency, you get up and you go. Why is it so easy to get up and go in such cases?
Because it's a one-time thing. It's not because it's
no,
not constant. It's not constant. If I told you to get up one day, get up for what do you call it, for Batikin, you would get up. But if it's every day,
wouldn't.
Day it's harder.
I understand, but I wouldn't unless I was
something that's a constant is
it's
harder.
when I was convinced. Well, that's separate.
If every day you'd have to go out of the thing to get your thing,
I agree. That's a separate.
Time you would go. You would say no. It's like Corona.
I understand. That's a separate issue. This is a separate issue. The fact that this is a second difficulty. I mean, the same thing. A person gets to work every single day. It's every single day. So how come he can get up and go to work man? It's every single day. So what's the difference between davening?
He has vacation. He has days that he doesn't work.
Well, so some days, the Shabbos, you don't go davening.
You have to go every single day.
No, you have to go to work every single day.
Not every single day.
Why you find it easy?
And not on.
No, but the reason why, listen, it's not an argument. The answer is very simple. You go to work because it's clear to you. It's verified by you that you have to do it. It's clear. There's no question there. There's no suffix there. Vasikin, no. So if you don't want to say what, so the world is going to come to an end. So you're right that one time in 50 years, it's easy. Fine. But we're talking about Avodas Hashem means davening every single davening, doing everything you need to do. That fact that it is every single day, and it's not as easy for me as going to work. I mean, yeah, I know that going to work is not that easy, but the choice about going to work is easy. I don't have a problem with getting out of bed, unless, of course, I'm suffering at work. And no, I'm underpaid and I'm miserable, whatever it is. That already puts a germ of doubt in the fact that I have to go to work. Then comes an idea, something, maybe I don't have to go to work. Then you have problems getting up in the morning. But if you realize that you have to get up in the morning, you have to go to work because you believe that by going to work, you're going to make the money to be able to pay your rent or your mortgage or whatever it is. So yeah, sometimes you have to drag yourself out of bed and go to work. But the choice itself of getting out of bed and going to work is easy. Sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's harder, but by and large, it has been verified in you. It's an orpnimi. The choice is very clear. I mean, you can go ahead and tell your boss exactly what you think about him. But I mean, the glee will last about 5 minutes. Then you're going to find yourself outside on the street. You keep yourself silent. So not telling your boss what you really think about him is easy because has been, it's an orpnimi, it has been verified by you. Anything which has been verified by you is easy, relatively. Yeah, some days are easier, some days are hard. The main thing that makes Yiddishkeit so difficult, and you're right, you're right when you're saying that the fact that if it had been a one-time thing, and in fact, Rabbeinu says that the way to deal with it is by looking at it as a one-time thing. Like they say in 12-step programs, just for today. Just for today, you're going to get up for seeking. Just for today, you're going to daven with the Olimat. And you're right. That is a technique, to cut it, cut the big salami into slices and take it one slice at a time. You're 100% correct. But without that kind of resolution, this is it. That's what I need to do. That's what I must do. It's not open to interpretations. That is the thing that makes it doubly difficult. Rabbeinu says the most difficult meniyas, the most difficult obstacles, is what they call meniyas hamoach, the obstacles in one's own mind. Maybe I don't have to do this. Who says I have to do it? I know perfectly good people who don't daven v'sikin, or they go and they daven, and I don't know, 30 minutes, they're done, and off they go. What's the big deal? I mean, wasn't that they're not Rishayim, they're not Chas v'Chalil. What do you want from me? To sit and work every single day, every teleka, I mean, even after you already, that thing, to know that you're struggling with it. The Hasidim came to Rabbeinu and they had this complaint, that, they really want to do it the right way. They really want to put the work that it takes, and they can't seem to make it. We just, no matter what we do, we can't seem to make it, and it's extremely discouraging, to say the least. So Rabbeinu said, basically, your Eitzah. He says, first of all, take the davening and say, when you start davening, maybe all you have to daven b'chavona is until Baruch She'amar. Okay. Whatever it is, Baruch She'amar, that's it, I'm done. You got to Baruch She'amar. Okay, from now on until after Ashrein, I'll just have to say, piecemeal, the salami system, one cow at a time. And himself, he says that even if some parts of the tefillah you are able to hold on and to really mean what you say, or b'chlal, notice what it is that you say. He says, this is what the Zohar says, some are called the masters of legs, some are called masters of hands, some are masters of head. He says the tefillah is like a full form of a person. Certain parts of the tefillah are hands, certain parts are legs, whatever it is. So he says it's very rare that somebody will be able to daven the whole davening b'kavana. And himself, he told them, and ultimately take a look at the tremendous happiness that a ger or a Baal Tshuva derives from just being able to say the words in Lashon Kodesh. Like totally unbelievable. You can have that. So what prevents us from getting chayas and getting excitement from just saying the words? No, this is not. It's not my. It's beneath me. It's beneath me. Somebody like me should be much better than that. Somebody like me should be able to daven better than that. What are you? You're putting me in the same class as a ger or as a Baal Tshuva. I should already be davening like I should be davening like whatever it is, and
I should be davening, but I have to go to work. So
I have to go to work. I shouldn't be davening, but
I
the
have to
point
do
is,
this with my kids, this, that.
yeah, these are all excuses. All
Excuses,
comes. It
all
all
kinds of pressure.
comes. It all comes because of gaiva, and it is that. But you have to understand, it's not just that a person in and on himself, in and by himself, is being haughty, and that's the reason why davening is difficult. No, davening is difficult.
Right.
Davening is difficult, period. It's hard work. And even after you already know that this is what you need to do, especially for me personally, because I am like uh, 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 a walking attention deficit disability.
Okay.
It's like I'm telling you, it's just like you can't even
Also,
imagine.
davening, you have to make your plus and your minus. I could daven very strong and go into thing, and then in the middle fall asleep because
It's not so much a question of falling asleep, is that I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience. I can't.
okay,
So
yeah,
so the struggle. You have to understand every single iota of the struggle is extremely precious.
yeah.
Every single iota of the struggle is extremely precious. And Reb Nosson says in Likuta Aloha, Sichos Shluchim Aloha Gimel, I just saw it this Shabbos when we're dealing about this week's Parsha, that if all the avodah that a person does, if all the toil that you put in, of all the effort that you put in, of all the frustrations and the anguish and whatever it is, at the end of your life, when the last day comes, you show up with one avera less, one taiva less, one. I'm talking about you may have, I don't know, one may have, not you, Chas v'Chalila, somebody in Siberia probably, but 100,000 of them, but one less, everything was worthwhile. It was all worthwhile. How much more so that it is much more than that. It's much, much more than that. And the reason that I mentioned to you that I'm ADD personally is because it is so very easy to get frustrated with your own difficulties, and you see that you keep on falling into the same pits over and over and over again. The only way to deal with it, the only way to work it out, is with a proper diagnosis of what is actually bothering me. What is my problem? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Okay. And the only way to reach this kind of prognosis, which is accurate, which is not a pie in the sky, is by going to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and asking him. Just ask him. You come, you say, listen, this is hard for me, and this is hard for me, and this is hard for me, and this I can't do, and this throws me off, and this whatever. What? Tell me.
It's bodidus.
Yeah. So yeah, but what I'm saying is that the Kodesh Baruch Hu, tell me. Tell me what it is. Tell me what is it. Tell me what is it. And he will tell you. Because his bodidus is not a monologue. It's a dialogue. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has his ways of talking to you. Don't worry about it. If you come and you lay down on the table for HaKadosh Baruch Hu and he says, I don't know what to do. Tell me, what is it? Why is this something I keep on grappling with again? It never leaves me alone. And whatever I make a decision to do it, I find myself gravitated to whatever it is I'm gravitated to. What's the story here? By the time that you finish, but the chances are that you'll find out. And you go, oh, okay. And once you find out that this is what it is, for instance, I take what I said. I'm one big walking attention deficit disorder. This is it. The fact that I can learn anything is a marvel. It's a marvel. It's a pellet that I can learn anything. So okay, so what does it mean? Does that give me an excuse to leave HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to leave Torah and to leave everything else? No, exactly the opposite. It makes my life that much easier. It means the only thing I need to do is I need to work. That's it. I need to try. I need to try again. I mean, I don't have to be able to sit there and do it for hours and hours. I can't. That's not my job. I'm super ADD. Super. So all I need to do is try, but really try. That's it. I'm off the hook. Suddenly things become clear. I know what I need to do in my life. I know what's my chore, what's my blood gemara I have to prepare. I have to work at it and do that which is very difficult for me. And boom, I go already into the category of being a burnt offering to Kodesh Baruch Hu. I'm a carbon. I'm bringing offering to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Beis HaMikdash. My own blood, my own frustrations, my own inabilities. I bring what I have. I never forget. It happened to me twice. A friend, lo aleinu, lo aleichem, nobody in Am Yisrael. He had when I lived in America, he had a wife that was sick, and for 7 years it was a struggle. And this particular illness, the ups and downs. There's hope and despair from one day to the next, and whatever it is, and then the children would be, you know, chanted from one relative to another relative because the mother was in the hospital. Just forget about it. And one day he came to me. He was the drumming teacher of my son. So he came to me, and after the shir, after he taught my son, he just stood and he told me that it's getting close, Loleno, to the end. And he stood there crying, and he said, like, I don't know what to do. What should I do? What can I do?
Pray.
Just a second. What should I do? So I told him, let me tell you what to do. You go outside and you tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu as follow. Ribbono Shel Olam, I don't have Torah. I don't. Good deeds, I also don't have. I don't have. Oh yeah, I have here, there, like everybody, nothing extraordinary, whatever. The only thing that I have is this horrible suffering that I'm going through. And every person has to go through this kind of suffering in his lifetime, in one form or another. And I'm telling you that this situation you're in, this unimaginable pain that you're in, is going to be over, one way or another, for the good or for the better. It's going to be over. Go to Kadosh Baruch Hu and says, Ribbono Shel Olam, I don't have Torah, I don't have mitzvahs, I don't have masim tovim, I don't have whatever it is, but this I do have. I'm suffering, I'm going through unbelievable anguish right now, and I don't want it. It's the last thing in the world that I would want. But I accept it, I'm giving it to you. This is my gift to you, Ribbono Shel Olam. I'm giving it to you. And I told this guy, listen to me. This thing will be over. One way, lolly in another. And you'll feel a lot better. You'll be over it to one degree or another. It won't be like somebody just drilled your foot to the floor. That kind of impossible pain. It'll just be like, a duller kind of memory that, but it'll be over. It will be over. But that chance of serving Kodesh Baruch Hu with accepting this will be gone. You will want to kick yourself in the behind, but you won't be able to turn fast enough to catch yourself in the behind because you missed your chance. And then 10 years later or 15 years later, another friend in Bishemish with a child, same situation, same state, comes to shul. I was in shul, and it was before the end. He comes and he says, I'm lost. So I told him the same thing. Grab this opportunity. Grab this. Grab this. And go with it. And he went out and he came back and you could wash the floor with his tears. The main thing is that catch whatever opportunity you have to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Catch whatever opportunity you have to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And when it comes with such frustrations, Hashem bless us all that we won't know any tsar b'chlal, no bad news, no illnesses, no nothing, B'ezrat Hashem. But the frustration alone of having to decide that you're going to daven, that you're going to actually put your koyach into davening. And it's right, you do it with tefillah. Before you daven, you daven. Before you actually put in your tefillin, you ask Kadosh Baruch Hu, Ribbono Shel Olam, I want to daven, bekavona and bekoyach, and put all my force into davening, like I want to take a nail and knock it into the wall with my head. I don't want. I really don't feel like it. It's like, man, do I have to do it? Yes, you have to do it. All right. Please, 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 please. Pretty please with a cherry on top. Can you please help me? Can you please help me to want to daven, to find a solution, and to do it? This is avodas Hashem. This is what, when you hit on a difficulty, that's payday. You hit pay dirt. When you hit difficulty, when you hit frustration, when you hit like, man, this is way beyond my pay grade. You hit pay dirt. This is it. You got it made, dude. Fantastic. So this is, let's take a quick look at the screen of the Sichos Haran. Even if he's not zoche to sanctify himself properly, still, the effort, the suffering, the confusion that he has because he wants to, because he's yearning to sanctify himself, this in itself is Bchinas Karbanis. You know, when you come to think of it, we are so blessed. We are so blessed we have a Rebbe that leads us on a way that governed the conduct of the biggest tzaddikim of all time. That's the way they do it. They don't become tzaddikim because their name is Moshe or Shimon or whatever it is. They don't become tzaddikim because they're the children of, because they're the child of celebrity. You know, it's true that when somebody comes from, that grows in the house of tzaddikim, whatever it is that he has, you know, but nevertheless, it doesn't take his bechira away. The only way that you get to be is by working hard at it. Today, Shalashudas, I was reading Sichos Haran with my wife at the table, and we read a Sicha that Reb Nosson said. My wife plots from laughter. Reb Nosson comes to Rabbeinu and says, how come certain El Chayidin have been working? Rabbeinu says, you know, it all depends on hard work. That's it. You know, that worked so hard and still did not make it, you know, to be A-listers, to be a major leaguer, you know, like I believe it's Berdichev, like the Balatanya, like the Nachum Chernobyl. They didn't make it to the, you know, to the, so, and they worked so hard. So how come they didn't make it there? So Abenu said, well, apparently they didn't work that hard. That's it. You know, you expected him to say, you know, they're in the Shama, nothing, simple. They didn't make it to that level because they didn't work hard. That hard that level takes. That's the way to do it. I apologize. Yes, I apologize for having muted the microphones of everybody because I sort of wanted to, especially Reb Simcha, I want to apologize to you because I wanted to get a certain continuity, and especially, you know, being that this is videotaped and it like changes from this to that. So I apologize, and I hope I did not embarrass you in any way. So it's terrific. In other words, the only thing that we need to do is do. We don't have to worry about succeeding. We don't have to worry about making it. And not only this, we can do it at any time, at any point in time, in any stage of life. You're never too young, you're never too old, you're never too weak, you're never too strong. At every single point in time, you're getting the screen that you need to deal with. Kill the villains, eat the cherries, get extra life, and boom, you get a new screen. If you're slow, you get a new screen once a week, once a month, once a year. And if you're quick, you can get a new screen every few minutes or a few seconds. Rabbeinu himself said that he renewed himself. In other words, he faced a new impossible task with every breath. Every new breath, every intake is a new screen, is a new challenge, impossible challenge. And this is our Rebbe. And this is us. We're facing challenges, but that's our thing, man. We're special forces. We're special forces. We're the guys who really mean it. Yeah, we're the guys who really want to mean it. How do you say you mean it? Because I want to mean it. That's all it takes. I want to mean it. First, Sichos Haran, all those who yearn. The Rabbeinu says, even though they're not able to accomplish a darn thing. Just want. I wish I did. You did it. Bingo. So, Bezat Hashem, Kadosh Baruch should help us. When you take stock of yourself, remember, Kadosh Baruch is inside your head. He knows, he understands. Go talk to him. Ask him to clarify things for you. And for a little while, you go like, oh, man, now I get it. For a while. For this screen. Then you have a next one. Then you have a next one. And it turns you into something utterly wonderful. As we'll see in Sichos Haran, Rabbeinu says, I'm very envious in somebody who is called the El Chayid, a kosher Jew. He says, because it seems to everybody that he walks around with innards and limbs like everybody else, but he's a totally different Indian, a totally different thing. He is an entity, a reality that nobody has a chance of even fathoming what his essence is. You already are. By coming and listening and you're here, nobody forces you to be here. You come here because it's your thing. You're in it. You're into it. This is what you want to do, which means you're it. How can you, to be in the special forces, go around with a gun, whatever it is, whatever it is, to swim around. No, it's okay. The only thing you need to do is you need to want. That's it. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. B'ezrat Hashem, Monday, Be'ez Hashem, we have Sipurim Isis. That's when the morning comes. Yes, this is 9 o'clock. Not 9:30, 9 o'clock, Monday. Mitzvah Hashem. When the prince gets down from the tree and sees the animals again, what happens next? So I wish everybody a good Tvoch. I apologize if I embarrassed everybody. Should all be well. And Kol Tov.